Hi, Flosstube. My name's Amanda, and welcome to my channel, Sycamore Stitches. Every time I get on this camera from this angle, I realize that I really need to put some things on my wall back here in my little office nook. Um, anyhow, this is Flosstube number 12. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if this is your first time stopping by. It is, well, I don't even know what day it is, March 10th, I think. And it's been about 10 days since I did a video. And I know that I want to do my next one on the first day of spring. So I was kind of timing one like kind of right in the middle there of those two times. So here we are. Uh, what do I have? Any updates? No, I mean, I think we'll just get right into the stitching. I guess I should say this is a channel about cross stitch. I also have a new tangentially related craft to show you today that I will get to later on. Since March has started, I've started my hiking schedule now that I am out of my winter hibernation. So I think I'm going to give some hiking updates at the end too, and keep doing that because I have found these videos to be very helpful to me with any sort of goal-oriented stitching. So might as well add my hiking in there and, kind of keep myself accountable a little bit because it seems to be working for other things. So we'll just add them in. I do have a fully finished object this week. I had a huge pile of like finished projects that were not framed or finished. And as you saw in my last video, I think I had 5 that I had framed. I have another one this week. I'm almost to the bottom of my pile. There are 2 more things in my pile, one of which I'll show as a finish today. And I even have frames for them. So just need to do some ironing and stuff. Making it through my pile. Anyhow, this, oh shoot, I didn't shut my curtains on my things over there. So we're getting some decent glare right now. There we go. This is my retro bird. Well, I don't know what it's called. I call it retro bird. I think it's called Bird and Garden. And I showed it as a finish before. And I think I said, well, I definitely said, because I said it every time I showed this when I was working on it, that I did not like this. I mean, I love the pattern. I love the design. I used a horrible piece of fabric and was not happy with how the fabric looked or felt or how my stitches laid on it. Well, I didn't even know if I wanted to frame this because I was just like, about it. The frame has fixed it and I am very happy with it now. It's not, I mean, because I wasn't super enthusiastic about this piece, I kind of refused to use a frame that wasn't a standard frame size. So this is an 8x10. You can see I'm cutting it real close to the edges, real close to the top. But I don't mind it. And also it was very heavy on the orange, which is not a favorite color of mine at all. And the turquoise frame brings out the blue, which is my favorite color. So I think just the addition of this frame has really, plus I think just with it being under glass and with the ability to look at it across the room now that it's in a frame, I'm not bothered by all the other things that were bothering me about it too. And I can't feel the fabric, which was annoying me because it's hidden away. So anyhow, I'm glad that I decided to just go ahead and frame this because now I'm happy with it again. And I guess all that really matters is, am I happy with the product at the end? I still may give this away, but I don't know. I kind of like letting it sit on my desk now. And when I'm not looking at it like real close up, I love it again. So that's a good thing. And I just got this frame off of Amazon. And it was a 2-pack. So now I have another turquoise and gold frame that who knows Who knows what I'll need it for ever in the future, but I'm sure something. So that is a happy success. I also have a finish, which is obviously my Between Two Pines, which I was very close to finishing last time. This has not been ironed or anything. Just taken out of the Q-snap. I still have the masking tape on it, did not even remove it. I will iron it and frame it soon. This is from Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Earth book that you can buy off of Amazon. And it doesn't have a name because they're all just numbered in there, but I call it Between Two Pines. It says, Between Two Pines is a doorway to a new world, John Muir. And I think I did mention maybe when I first started this piece, but now that it's done, I also wanted to take a minute to talk about John Muir. And okay, so basics. If you don't know who John Muir is, he was a conservationist and kind of naturalist of the, I guess, like mid 18th century, or not 18th century, mid 1800s, mid 19th century. Am I doing that right? Yes. I always have trouble with that one. Anyhow, and primarily he was out west in California. He had a lot of activism to found national parks in like the Sierra Nevadas. So particularly I think Yosemite and the Sequoia National Forest, I think, National Park. I think those are the ones that he mainly had an influence on. And he was a co-founder of the Sierra Club, which still continues today as a conservation group. Okay, so that's most of the good stuff. Like many other organizations in 2020, the Sierra Club was also doing a bit of a reckoning with its history and its past and the racism that was very common. I mean, still common, even more overtly common, I guess, in that time period. So there was there's definitely issues with some of his writings, and he's written a lot of books and articles and stuff. He had a very, again, I guess some of his views did evolve over his lifetime, but very negative views of Native Americans. And I'm sorry, I got interrupted. I guess there is a pause button here. I always hit stop. I need to pause instead. Anyhow, as I was saying, John Muir had, in his writings and in his life, I assume, very racist ideas towards Native Americans and Black people. Now, this was obviously very common in that time period, but I mean, like, he spent time where you'd go out to the wilderness, you know, and be amazed by it, and like, you know, just kind of the general colonial view of, look at this untouched wilderness that we have to save. Like, no, people have been living there for a really long time, and obviously conserving their own land, and that's why it looks so great. So anyhow, I guess some of his, at least his views about Native Americans did evolve over the course of his lifetime, and he did appreciate them more because he realized that they were good at conservation, and he was also passionate about that. Anyhow, all that to say, he's not like a canceled person or anything like that. I don't even know if he's necessarily a problematic person, but he is a person who, you know, has written things that could be harmful to people who read them now. I think that he also did a lot of good. You know, European people at that time were not thinking anything really of conservation, of preserving wild lands for future generations. That wasn't really much of a concept of that time. And so, you know, pioneers in that type of thinking, at least for a European colonial type population, I guess, are good. But anyhow, I knew this stuff about John Muir before doing this piece, and still decided that I wanted to do it. I love some of his quotes. They're beautiful, and I also am very passionate about conservation of both plants and animals and places. And so a lot of the things that I've read, which I mean, in all honesty, I've never read any of his books. So I'm just going by quotes that are, I guess, taken out of context. But they still resonate with me. And yeah, anyhow, I just wanted to say that about him. I'm going to put a couple links below in case you wanted to read about any of that yourself. And I would get it if certain people weren't a fan of him or his quotes. And I feel okay with it. But I just want to also acknowledge that, like many things and many people, both currently and historically, things are complicated. And, you know, we're all complicated. So anyhow, there's this again. I love how it turned out. And I did buy a couple frames at Target, a white one and kind of a, you know, like a fake wood grain one. I'm going to use probably one of these for it. I'm not sure which one. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to iron it and lay it underneath both of them and decide. But probably one of those is for it, and they were only $5, so I just bought them both because I'm sure I'll find a use for the other one as well. That is one of the other things I really like about a lot of Emma Congdon's patterns is that they kind of easily fit into like 8x10 frames, and also my 8x11 Q snaps. So great, that makes me happy. Okay, I have a couple new starts, so let's show these. This one was the one I started. I was allowed to have a new start last time we talked because I'd finished Father Frost, but I hadn't started it. Anyhow, so this is Dilly Dahlia by Ink Circles. And it's kind of small. It's just like 6x6, I think. It's on a 16 count Witchelt Ada in Sea Lily. So it's very green. I can bring my light back down now. So I finished the middle circle and I've started a little bit on this outside of the flower blossom. I've never done an ink circles piece before, but it is cool that they are like pictures inside of pictures. Obviously there's dragonflies inside this middle one. There's like flowers inside this one, and I can see like birds in the little corners. Well, that's kind of cool. I think that's common with their patterns. Yeah, I am, speaking of like problematic things, I am doing this with a couple of the called for flosses, and then the greens, I changed the colors, but it calls for Weeks Dye Works flosses, and apparently that's also a bit of a controversial company, and some of the floss tubers that I watch don't shop from them. Just due to some previous issues where they were called in and did not have great response. I was not part of this community, I guess, when that kind of thing was going on, so I wasn't even, I guess I'd heard this story, but I didn't even know what company they were talking about. So maybe I won't be buying these in the future. Also, I just don't like them super a lot after just doing this little bit of work on them. I don't really like how they feel, and they seem to overpriced. Like, a skein only has 5 yards or 5 meters. So, I probably won't use them again, but it is pretty. I like the color. This color in the middle is called Basil, and it's kind of like a purple to brown variegation. I don't know if you can see that. Anyhow, that's an unusual, I don't know, I guess that's not colors I would think of putting together. So that's about 4 hours in on that. So a good start. I don't think it will take too long. My other new start, oops, hold on. Let me make sure I put my things back where they belong so I don't get lost. My other new start is what I started after I finished the Between Two Pines. And it comes again from Emma Congdon's Cross Stitch for the Earth. And I call it Be Kind. I should have shut those shades while I was up. Be kind to all that live. We have less glare. It says, be kind to all that live. And this is a present for someone, and it needs to be done by May. So I've got 2 months. I think I can do it. And here's where I'm at. Word kind is almost done. There's a little snake that curls around it right here. You can see his little tongue. So I need to do the snake to finish that word. And the little mallard is done, and the little spider in his web is done. And I'm starting on another word down here. I am so I like it when people do projects and like they only do one little motif or thing at a time and don't like stretch past that. And I think, oh my gosh, they must have to change colors like all the time. I really am a fan of cross-country stitching and color completing. I don't mind counting fairly far away. Of course, I also get that like some people, you know, find that more challenging. It doesn't really bother me, and I don't seem to have too many times that I have to like pull it out and redo it. Anyhow, I can't seem to do that. So like this is like some little dirt where there's going to be trees, but I had these colors on my needle, so it's like I can't just like, if I've still got a strand on my needle and I can reach it, I can't not do it. And that's why we went here. I had to have just like 5 stitches of green in his head, and I was like, well, I gotta find some more places to put this green. So that's why I came down here. I'll probably finish that until I finish like all 6, that was all 6 strands of a piece. And then I'll move on to the snake. And oh, there's also, you can't really see it here, some little flowers started here. You can't really see them because they don't have their centers or their greenery, because they were the same color as some of the duck belly. Anyhow, I got about 6 hours in on this new start, and it's coming along well. It's still got a lot to go, but I do think I'll be able to finish it for when I need to. So that's good. Okay. Oh, and here's the colors for it. I like how they all look together. It's very neutral for my taste. I like looking at the colors together because then you got some blues and some oranges, but like in reality, there's hardly any of those colors in the actual piece. It's mainly all browns and greens and grays, and not necessarily my cup of tea, but I don't think it'll take me so long that I will get too bored. One of the things I notice, sometimes some of the people I see on Flosstube are doing a lot of projects that are for other people that they don't always seem super enthused about, which I don't understand because I don't think I could do that. So whenever I make gifts for people, I think about what the person would like, but then I also think about what I like, because I don't think I could do a project that I don't enjoy stitching just to get it done. That's just me, I guess. So I do enjoy that one. It's just not as colorful as most of mine. Okay. I have one more new start, but it's not cross stitch. I'm gonna do that one in haul because I also just bought it. It's haul and a new start. So we're gonna do whips, works in progress first, and then we'll do that. So sorry, find my stuff here. My next one is, my work in progress is Northern Land by Al Forrest Embroidery. I've been working on this one for a while. I am almost 1/4 of the way done. this week I finished this pink motif. I did all these little pinks along here, and I did these little blues in here. Okay, so this is the center this way, and then the center this way is about right here. So all that I have left to finish my 1/4 is this center motif, which is quite large. It's larger than that one. And then I will be actually more than 1/4 of the way done, just because I don't just do half of the center motif, I do the whole thing. And so it's kind of going into the second half of it. I feel myself slowing down on this. I do love it, but I feel myself slowing down. I feel myself not wanting to pick it up as much, even if I enjoy doing it once I do. So I think that my goal is to finish the center motif by the time I'm back here again, which, like I said, will be the first day of spring. And then I've been working on this one kind of all winter. I guess I even probably started it in either maybe October, probably. I'm gonna put it away, I think, after I finish that part, and trade it for another Forest one that I want to start that is very spring-like, which is the Dragonflies one. And then either pull this one out probably right after that one, or maybe I have another Forest one that to me is very fall-like, so maybe I will wait until, I don't know. I think I'm just going to trade it for another Forest and then bring it out in a few months or so, when I'm excited about it again. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? This is on a 32 count Lugana by Picture This Plus called Earthen, and it's kind of like a pink modeling. Plus, you know, then I could just give it a break off the Q-snap. I need this Q-snap for the other project, which is why it has to go away for a while. I could just buy more Q-snaps, but I think I'm just gonna make it trade for a little bit so that I can use this Q-snap for something else and then get back to it in a little bit. Okay. But you'll definitely see that one at least one more time, because I need to finish the center motif in order to allow myself to put it away for a little while. Okay. Next. Actually, I'll do this one next. Is my Twisted Rainbow Sampler from Northern Expressions Needlework. That is a chart. Let's not pull it out that way. Here's the picture. The picture does not do it justice, but it is a twisted band sampler, where every other band is cross stitch and specialty stitches. There are 17 bands in all, 18 colors. I'm using the Dinky Dyes colors, and it's on a 32 count black linen. 32? Yeah, 32. I had gotten myself stuck on this Norwich stitch, which is the second, right after these scallop stitches, the first little one that is a square. I was having some trouble with it. It's very hard to see when you're going every hole, because the specialty stitches are like over 1 instead of over 2, like the cross stitch. And with the black fabric, I don't know, I was having trouble. But I discovered why I was having so much trouble. The scallop stitches up above it are a kind of stitch where many threads are going down through the same hole, kind of like an eyelet, so that the center, that hole is kind of larger than usual, and then therefore the ones beside it are smaller than usual. They're like squished in. So part of the problem was that the one corner of my Norwich stitch, I was losing stitches because of that phenomenon. Once I figured it out and knew exactly where my lost stitches were and could kind of pull them apart, then it was fine. So I finished I only had like 2 of these Norwich stitches done. So I did all of them and then came back down. I don't remember what this other specialty stitch row is called. I don't remember. I'd have to look. Don't worry, I'm gonna have to do it again, so I'll tell you then. So actually no, I'm not gonna have to do it again because that's the center one. So yeah, I finished this color. I'm not finished with that specialty stitch band. I'm switching colors now to a yellow. This is like an orangey yellow, and I'm going to like a more yellow, but I've still got 2 yellows to go before I get to switch to greens. So I'll have to do another row of these Norwich stitches and another row of the scallop stitches, and then I'll move on to the cross stitch band. So I guess that's my goal for this one before next time, is to at least be done with this band of specialty stitches and probably into the next band. But I'm going to set a conservative goal of finish band 4. I feel like once I get through the next 2 colors, which are both yellows, and start into the greens and then the blues and then the purples, I'm going to be much happier because like I'm not really into reds and oranges and yellows. Like I definitely like cool colors a lot better, and like I'm saying like a lot. Obviously these are the warm colors that I'm not as excited about, and I think once I get into the other colors I'm going to be more excited about picking it up. So, but it's going well. I started this one right at like the new year. So 2.5 months in, and soon to be done with the 4th band. Granted, I mean, I know there's 17 bands, and I'm like, oh, I'm done with number 4, but obviously the bands at the corners are much smaller than the bands that are like right in the middle because they take up a lot more room. So you can't really measure it that way. But here's the colors, the ones that I haven't used yet. Sorry, the one yellow that I'm using next isn't out of here already, but you can see that after that it will get to be more warm colors. I guess there's some kind of reddish on the end, but still. I think I'm gonna like that a lot. I really do like the specialty stitches in there. That's why I was sad when I was having so much trouble with that one and wanting to put it down. In fact, it has made me want to do like all kinds of specialty stitches on like anything I could find that isn't a sampler, because I don't like samplers. And there's a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of samplers that have specialty stitches. So I think the thing is that I like the idea of embroidery. I like the different types of stitches and all of that, but I don't like doing embroidery because I like to have a grid of my fabric. I like things to be very precise, and embroidery is like wild. No rules, no rules. So things like specialty stitches are great because they let me get to do those stitches on a grid, and I literally cannot do them wrong if I follow the grid. I love that. What's not to love about that? Okay, my last work in progress is Ski Lift from Awesome Pattern Studio. Now, obviously there's been a lot of push or whatever in the community to buy patterns from Ukrainian designers right now to help support them financially, which is a good thing. And I was not even aware until like last week that Awesome Pattern Studio is a Ukrainian designer. Well, I think there's like more than one person, but regardless, I was like, cool, because I love this. They have such bright colors. They have a lot of like natural landscapes. I wouldn't want to primarily do, well, at least this one is a lot of block colors. It can get a little boring, but it's also great for like at the end of the night when my eyes are tired, or if I'm taking a project out of the house for travel, or just, you know, wherever I'm going. It's great because you don't have to concentrate as much on counting. So you'll see in my haul, which is coming up next, and I bought a bunch more of their patterns. And you should too, because they're awesome. Here's where we're at. There's actually a whole lot of white stitching here and here that is hard to see because you can kind of see it. So we're getting close. About 4 weeks ago, I decided that I needed to finish this by the first day of spring, and that would require doing 1,200 stitches a week. So I've been keeping up with that goal. This is a halfway point of the week, so I still have like 700 stitches to do this week, but I've got 4 days. That won't be a problem. These stitches go pretty quick because, like I said, you're not counting as much. A lot of these, like what I have to do for the rest of this week is fill in this. It's already counted out. I've already done that. All I got to do is take this color and just stitch it. And then I have another color that I have to do, which is in some trees down here at the bottom. But I love this. It's coming out great. I love the bright colors. And yeah, I think I have 700 stitches to do this week and then 1,200 to do next week, and then I'll be done. So I think I'm going to meet my goal on this, which is exciting. And I already know when I'm going to start when I'm done with it. So this brings us so by next time I should have that finished, hopefully, as long as nothing weird happens. If you can notice, I'm doing my plans as I talk. We don't need a separate plans section. We're going to talk about them as we go. Let me show you the patterns I bought. Like I said, I didn't realize how many of the patterns on Etsy that I already had favorited were from Ukrainian designers. It was a lot. I picked 2 shops last week and bought 7 patterns from one and like 6 patterns from the other. Even though I would have just like saved them for a long time because I don't like to like have a ton of patterns hanging over my head. Unlike a lot of people, I don't really want to collect too much at one time because it feels a little overwhelming. But obviously I made an exception for this. So here's the ones that I bought from Awesome Pattern Studios. This one I love. It is called Alps. And I've been to the Alps, so that's cool. I love this one. I love mountains. Mountains are my favorite, and obviously some really nice colors. This looks very similar to the one Satsuma Street one that I also have kitted up that has a similar vibe to it. Okay, next I bought 6. The other 6 that I bought from them were like part of their National Park series. So we went to St. Louis last year on our way back from our Colorado road trip. So I liked that one. It's pretty. So I bought that. This one doesn't have as much color, but I also like it. This is for the new River Gorge. Like, I guess that's I didn't even realize that was a national park. River Gorge National Park in West Virginia. We've camped there so many times. It's only like 4 hours from here, and I'm in southwestern PA. A little more neutral, but I love that one. Okay, the other 4 are places that we are planning to go on our vacation this coming summer. So at least 1 or maybe 2 of these will be my travel pieces when we go. We're planning a trip to Washington and Oregon, and we're going to be like going all over the place. We don't stay in one spot when we go on vacation. So this one is Mount St. Helens. Some pretty purples there. Mount Rainier. These are the 2 I want to start first, I think. Crater Lake, which is in Oregon. I've never been to any of these places, but they're all in the plans to go to this summer with the whole family. And Olympic Peninsula or Olympic State Park, Olympic National Park. We don't have national parks really where I live, so I just call everything a state park. So those are all the ones I bought from Awesome Pattern Studio. I picked one other shop that was Ukrainian to buy patterns from last week, and that shop is called XCrossStitchPatternX. This is so pretty. I've seen some other people be buying this pattern. It is listed as like a Scandinavian type pattern with these Arctic foxes. So pretty. Here's another Scandinavian type winter one with some deer and a tree. I love everything on black. Luckily, I don't mind stitching on black because that's how I want it to look when it's done. This cool mushroom one. Another one with mushrooms and a moth. And then I bought 2 of these sets of just like bookmarks. That one and this one, which I would probably, at least definitely on this one, change the colors. But there's only 4 or 5 colors in each bookmark, so they're very easy to use your own color palette. And I've never made a bookmark. I'll have to figure out how to finish it. But, you know, I've got tons of scraps of little long skinny pieces of Aida laying around. So seems like that's a good thing to have. Okay. What else do I have in haul? I have my Fortnite Fabrics Fabric of the Month. I should have already taken it out so you can get a nice look at it. This one is called Staying Alive. I'm in the Groovy Gradients part of their club, and I get 32 count Lugana 1/8 yard. Yes, 1/8. So this one is maybe a green. So their Groovy Gradients is like they take a color and then they have like 2 hues of it and they mix it. So last month it was a blue, like a couple shades of blue. This month it's a green. And I've already seen the one for next month, which is a pink, or I guess later this month. So I do not know what I'm going to use this for, but I love it. I love green. I love, like I said, the warm colors, or sorry, cool colors. So I'm positive I'll find something for it. The pink that I've already seen for next month, I'm excited to get because I think that one might work for the Mirabilia that I have kind of partially kitted up that I need fabric for. And I think that maybe next month's will work. Okay. Oh, this is just a little thing. So I'm a doula and I work with an agency of about like a dozen other doulas, which is great. We usually do monthly like meetups to meet with potential clients so they can just like get to know you and see your style and decide if you know you might be a good fit for them. We've been doing these virtually for 2 years over Zoom. You can still kind of tell someone's style that way, but it's really great to actually like meet them face to face. Usually you know right away if you're just going to click with somebody. It's really important that you be compatible with your doula. Anyhow, all that to say, that seems off topic, but we had our first in-person open house meet and greet thing in 2 years last week, which was super exciting. Not just to meet with clients, because that was exciting, but also just to meet with the doulas I work with that I haven't seen forever. Some of them I've never even met in person because if they've joined our group in the last 2 years, I probably haven't met them in person at all. And these are people who are my backups. Like as a doula, you work completely solo. You never have other people with you, but you also need them to be your backup. So you need to get to know them because you need to be able to trust them with your clients. Anyhow, it was super exciting to be able to do that. And one of my friends, doula friends, just gave me this little thing that she had that I guess she started and wasn't going to finish. So it's an embroidery project. I don't know when I'm going to do it. It has really crappy floss. Surprise, surprise, because it came in some like box kit that she had. Anyhow, I might do that at some point. Like I said, embroidery is not my favorite, but when I do it, it goes so fast that it does get tempting sometimes to want to do that. Okay. Next, I had some time to waste in between 2 meetings on the other side of town the other day. So we don't have any cross stitch stores. We don't have any like local stores for cross stitch in my area. You have to drive like at least an hour to get to one, even though I live in a big city. But we have needlepoint stores. And so I was in the neighborhood of one and thought, I'm going to stop in and see what they have. I thought, you know, maybe they'll have something fun. I mean, they didn't really have much stuff that was applicable to cross stitch, but it was a fun store. Also, the name of it is the best. Listen to this. Well, I guess you have to know the name of the neighborhood. The neighborhood that it is in is called Point Breeze. So the name of the store is Needle Point Breeze. So, gotta love a good pun. So I bought a little kit, which is like just a little change purse with a water lily on it. And it just comes with floss, and that looks just like a nice little quick thing to try. Also, my 12-year-old, whose name is Lily, and it's a lily, said she wanted to do it. So we'll see if she actually does. She says she wants to do stuff and then never does it. So, but maybe we can both do a little bit of it. That's probably more of the reality. Or maybe she'll want me to do it and just give it to her. And then I also bought some needles. Somebody, I think D from D's 20 Stitches was talking about this particular brand of needle, I think. Anyhow, and saying that these are awesome needles. So I bought some because they had some there, 24 and 22. I need some smaller ones, but this was, they didn't have much smaller than that. So that's what I bought at the needlepoint store. Needlepoint is really expensive. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't think I'll get into that. I like cross stitch. But speaking of needlepoint, okay, my last part of haul and another new start is something called counted canvas work or charted needlepoint, something like that. I was watching, I will link the Flosstube below, Carolyn Stitches, and she has been working on some of these projects, and she even has some tutorial videos that she did on them, which I watched and I thought, yeah, I want to do that. Then I accidentally bought this kit. I didn't mean to. I was just looking at some of the shops, online shops that Carolyn mentioned, and the one shop I put something in my cart and I was like clicking through to see how much shipping would cost, and then accidentally bought it. Like it never told me how much shipping would cost, but I bought it kind of accidentally, kind of not accidentally. Anyhow, it came in the mail. It's from a shop called Nancy's Needle. Okay. Anyhow, Azaleas by Moonlight is the name of, let me take this out so you can see it without the glare. Carolyn had mentioned a couple companies, and I was looking at a couple of them. This one actually, I think I ended up buying it, but this one is kind of all the same type of stitches. Whereas the other ones that she was doing were more of like different types of specialty stitches a little more. So I think actually those other kind are going to be more up my alley if I do this again, but still very pretty. It uses different floss than you would use for cross stitch. This is DMC Pearl Cotton 5. That's some of the colors I'm using. And then these ones are Caron Snow, which I guess is like their line of like kind of metallic-y ones. And then also these cards, which are Silk Lame Braid from Rainbow Gallery. So, I mean, it's kind of fun. I would never use these types of fibers, I guess. So I started this last night. I decided that I didn't have to wait to finish something to start this because it's not cross stitch. It doesn't count. It doesn't count against me. So you use stretcher bars and a like canvas, and you tack it like that. Anyhow, this is just the tiniest little start in the center. Wow, it doesn't look as tiny in person as it does on there, but it's nice and sparkly. That was probably about an hour's worth of work, and it's going to be out to like more like an inch from the edges of the stretcher bar, so there's a lot to go. But I feel like it goes kind of quick. You have to use really small sections of floss because it pulls so much on this kind of hard canvas. And there's something else I was going to say about the floss. Oh, I needed to use a needle threader. Is that the word for them? Not for these ones, not for the metallic ones because they're a little skinnier, but for the Pearl Cotton, I had to use a needle threader, which I never use because like it was quite hard to actually get that threaded just because it's just a lot thicker. You use the entire piece of floss. You don't like take smaller strands of it. I don't even know if you can unstrand these. I think the metallic ones look like they have strands, but they look like they'd be really crappy if you unstranded them. And I don't know, does Pro Cotton, it looks like it has some strands, but like it doesn't, I don't think it's made to be, you know, used separately like you do with the regular embroidery floss. So that is my haul and new start of counted canvas work. Anyhow, I will link Carolyn's videos below if you find that interesting. She's been doing several of those projects and they looked pretty fun. So, that's all my haul, which I did, seems like kind of a lot. Anyhow, I said at the very end here, I would just do my hiking update as well. So I started hiking on March 1st. I did this last year too, but I know that I'm a hibernator in winter. So I let myself hibernate. I was originally going to do it, hibernate for like 3 months, but I did 4. I started early. I didn't want to hike in November. So I haven't hiked since like October. I'm kind of training for an event, but I'm also just doing this to do this. The event isn't until June. It's called the Rachel Carson Trail Challenge. It's a event that they have here in Pittsburgh on the Rachel Carson Trail. I'm only doing the half. The full challenge is 36 miles in a day, and they do it on the summer, as close to the summer solstice, the Saturday that is closest to the summer solstice, so that you have the most light, because you have to start at like sun up in order to end at sundown, because 36 miles is a lot. Also, the elevation on this trail is completely ridiculous, more than like any trail I've ever been on. And there's like no switchbacks. Like you just go straight up, straight down. Hiking poles are like, at least in my opinion, a necessity. Obviously not everybody uses them, but like people are literally sliding down the hills on their butt. That's how steep it is. And there's a lot of elevation change. So I'm doing the half, the Homestead Challenge, and that is like 18 miles, which is still a lot of hiking in one day. But so I'm training for that, but also just I like being in the woods. I like hiking, and I started doing this last year like regularly because I had sprained my ankle really bad last winter, and it was basically my PT. And it worked because I did the Rachel Carson half last year, and also my husband and I took a 70-mile backpacking trip last summer over a week. So the ankle's good. Now I'm in PT for my shoulder. So I have integrated my shoulder exercises into my hiking as well. I take my hiking poles and I do my thing while I'm hiking. Anyhow, last week I started slow. I have a couple loops near me that I do when the kids are at school. One is a 1-mile loop, and I'll do it like several times sometimes. And then one is a 3-mile loop. So I just did the 1-mile loop last week, a couple days, and went with my husband and my youngest daughter on the 3-mile loop on the weekend. So I got 5 miles in last week, my first week. This week I've only done the 1-mile loop once. It's Thursday. I should have probably gone today, but it was really rainy and gross this morning, so I'm pushing it off till tomorrow. So my goal is to get out twice during the week, and then probably a longer one on the weekends if I am not too busy. So I'm on track, and I'm gonna keep doing that. They start some training hikes on the Rachel Carson Trail in like mid-April. And I think the first one starts at like 8 miles, and they start working their way up from there. So I will definitely be able, be at that level by then. I'm already noticing I'm doing so well even after not hiking for 4 months compared to like last year at this time, because I keep track of my time, my pace, because that's kind of important for later on. But anyhow, I'm not somebody who likes workouts. I personally think that almost always like gym culture and is toxic. I despise it. And I mean, granted, I know that there are exceptions to that rule. And so if you're somebody who goes to a place that you think is great, awesome, good for you. I personally can't handle it. I hate it. I can't do at-home workouts. I think they're usually toxic too. Not toxic, okay. They range from mildly problematic to extremely toxic. I have a problem with anything that is focused on weight loss. That's just kind of a toxic way of being in the world, I think. I don't blame people for being focused on that because they live in this culture where that is completely emphasized. And I have a problem with that. Anyhow, I won't do any, I just know this about myself. I won't do any like workout that I'm not enjoying. So hiking is something I actually really like. It's kind of meditative for me. I go out in the woods by myself almost all the times. Like once in a while I'll go with other people, but usually I'm by myself. I don't listen to music. I don't listen to podcasts. I'm not listening to anything. I'm just out there either clearing my mind or sometimes just going over things for quiet time in my mind, which is great because I don't have much quiet time. Even when I'm stitching, I'm usually watching Flosstube, listening to a podcast, listening to an audiobook, filling both all the sensory stuff at once. So hiking is a good opportunity for me to just have some silence and time with myself in my brain. So anyhow, that's where I'm at with that, and I'll keep you updated. And yeah, sorry for my rant about the toxic workout culture that is very big in our society, at least in the United States where I live. I assume probably other places too. I guess let me know if you live somewhere where that isn't a big thing, especially as a woman, and as a mother, as someone who has had children, and you're just inundated with the get your body back and all of this stuff, which is ridiculous. I'm never going to look like I did before I had children. I don't want to either. Why would I want to do that? The sooner you can say that, probably the better, because like things change, even without having children, the age, and I want to be in a place where I embrace all of that, and I mean, staying active is a good thing. Obviously, I'm not against that, but do it for the right reasons. Or not. Do it for whatever reasons you want. But know that you don't have to if you don't want to for the wrong reasons, because anyhow, I better wrap this up. I'm ranting too much. So I will see you guys again, hopefully, on the first day of spring, or maybe, yes, the 20th. Actually, I think that's a Sunday. So probably it won't be till Monday, because Monday is a good time for me to tape. Regardless, see you in about a week and a half, and take care of yourselves. Bye.